Hey gang, welcome back. Sorry about the voice. I'm kind of homesick right now, but we're doing our 2020 wrap up. So let's hit that right now. I'm going to show you some other people's stuff at the end as well. And in this category, I kind of put a bunch of miscellaneous stuff like buckles, little ox knob, some clock parts, knife parts, stuff like that. Really liked how this little pocket watch here, the face broke, exposing the internals. That's kind of neat. Even though I remember I whacked the adjusting knob off, but some interesting finds there that will add to the year's collection. Now, this is my non-precious jewelry for the year, and you can see there's some cool things in here like this metal, a bunch of different rings. Some have colorful stones on them. I love this ship's wheel and Betty Boop. But this was, this is kind of the clad sort of jewelry you get throughout the year. This thing, I don't know what this ever was. That had some really neat inscribing on it at one time. Yeah, that came out of a colonial field with Kevin, who moved to Hawaii. So unfortunately, won't be hunting with him anymore, but wish him the best down there. So here's some of the precious metals we found. A bunch of silver rings and this silver pendant here, religious metal, and this gold filled, but it actually contains a decent amount of gold in this little anchor. So interesting that it cites the weight. But I had a couple gold rings, but I give you one guess who took those already, and I didn't get them back. All right, so right here, this is all the bottles from that one bottle dump that we dug up the road. So you can see quite a few, and this is one of every variety. I didn't double these up at all. So each one of these bottles is a little different than the next. Some may be the same manufacturer, but each one is a little bit different. My favorite, still this Hutch bottle right here. That thing's a beauty. And along with that, these are all the small finds from the bottle dump. All the little things like dishes and plates and the railroad car, spoons, duckies. How did that get there? I think Sarah put that there. I didn't put that there. But yeah, some pretty interesting stuff. So if you want to see us dig that place again or dig another bottle dump, comment below and let me know, because that was a very fun, divergent little activity. Now listen, if you notice stuff missing, that's because I do something that, I think everybody should do. I give a lot of stuff back to the homeowners. I make displays for them. I also set aside a bunch of objects inside containers that are classified by location. So for example, when I hunt Forest Park, like I found a seated quarter there this year, you won't see that in the silver section of this video because I keep all the Forest Park stuff together. And it's very difficult for me to separate that out by which year I've gone hunting. So I hope you enjoy, and on with the show. And here's some of the silver for this year. And I'll point at some notables here. Like, for example, this Walker, this 43 Walker was underwater. And boy, was it deep in the soil underwater. That was kind of neat to find. Here's a sweet 1784 Carlos III 2 real, or 2 reals. This little white silver here is a whole half real. My favorite silver of the year, by far. Look at that crisp 1832 cap bust half dime. Just the slightest of grays in the back from dirt pushing it around. Wah. There's our toy cars for the year, and I think most of these I found underwater metal detecting. A couple of them I found on land, like this one here and the parts of the Mercedes. But not a lot of cars, so kind of a slow year for the old toys, unfortunately. Maybe we'll do better next year. Didn't find too many tokens this year. Found this, what I thought was like a copper round underwater. 86 though, same year I was born. Butter token. This was probably the most interesting one of the year. This is actually a New York 18-something, 1850, I think it is, temperance medal. So it's a prohibition medal, but kind of neat. And on to the utensils. No forks this year, amazingly, that I can recall, but these are all the spoons and one knife, maybe a knife handle here, not sure. My favorite definitely is this one because it's got such an interesting pattern here. You can see that, right? Gosh, how ornate. Only things were so cared for today. Some other small cents here. Got a shield nickel, 5 center. That came out of the lake. That came out pretty interesting. This deep V nickel, which was just in phenomenal condition and nice sandy soil. That Indian came out of the lake. That's why it's kind of gold colored. Little 2-cent piece. It's awfully crusty, unfortunately. On to the next. I think I'm having a bit of a laugh with this one because this is definitely like the YouTube underwater creator special here, right? I found electronics in the water which are valueless, except for maybe this watch which still works. So, I don't know. I might send this to one of you because it needs a new home. It's kind of a neat little watch. Maybe Sheila, if your daughter wants this, maybe I'll send it to you because it's pretty clean. It's nice. But, well, gosh, when was the last time you used a pager? The 90s? I don't know. Walkie-talkie, probably from a lifeguard, and some Fitbit style watch, which is long past it. Some tags for the year here, and this is the coolest one. And I didn't even catch this on camera. I went out with Jerry Cooper one day, and we were out, and this says, I think it says Judson, and it's 1880 something on there. So Rochester, New York. Found this in a river out in the middle of nowhere, just kind of in a pool underneath the bridge. Happy to have that one. Here's the year's keys, just briefly showing you these. Stop losing your keys, people. I can see the access to a lot of missing houses here. Well, these are probably car keys. Maybe to an old Toyota or something. Now, here's some of the buttons for the year, and what I mean by some is I dug a ton of buttons this year, and I gave a ton of them back to the homeowners who kind of preserve the history of their property. So this is not even close to being all of them. This is just what didn't get returned back to homeowners. I think particularly like this one and this one, I'm going to make a little display for them and give that back. But I think this one as well came out of the same spot. Here's our coppers for the year. And so these two came from Virginia, including my first cut coin, a beautiful kind of Drake bust large cent there. Pretty nice shape too. Nicer than any coin I've ever found up here in New York. Smooth 1789 Hibernia, my first Hibernia. Couple KG3s of different sizes. This 1757 KG2, that's my oldest. I'm going to give that to Headless Steve. And then this was another hunt with Headless Steve, a Drake bust, and I'm going to give that to the homeowner along with those buttons. So, pretty neat. Here's a cool display I made from the NDL, which is the National Detecting League Championship, state by state, hosted by Larry Cisna. And I guess it's going to be down in South Carolina this year. I am signed up to go, but we'll see if I make it based on travel restrictions. But look at this. I found this as part of that, this wicked cool trigger guard, and these are just some of the finds I made there. I did find one sweet South Carolina button. Let me get that. Yeah, look at that beauty. Has a nice proud shank in there, too. So got my first kind of Civil War, Southern Confederate style button there, I guess. But love that hunt. Definitely going back if I can. And this is by far my best coin spill of the year, and what a weird story this was. My buddy Dave asked me to come metal detect around his wellhead. He had a drill well, and to find a missing socket of his, and I said, sure. And this thing was on the surface, which ended up leading to me finding these other coins. You know, what a strange thing. I always wonder if there's more there, because here you have 6 shield nickels, a 2-cent piece, and a flying eagle cent, my first. So... and just kind of weird, right? All in one very concentrated area that had been hit with a loader bucket, so it kind of moved them. But they're all within basically a foot area. So I wonder, was it a cache? And this here's my favorite relic of the year. This is a model 1860 Cavalry lightsaber sword guard. And this will be going back down to Virginia with the 2... 1.5 large cents there. This was at my girlfriend's cousin Kathy's house. So quite a mouthful, but this is definitely from the Civil War. It looks like it got hit pretty hard with a plow. I never did find the blade, and I was hoping to get back down there this year, but I think it's going to have to wait till next year. But I'll mail these back to him, as I did with all the buttons and other relics from that hunt, which was a 5-part series. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Now, I did write into American Digger magazine again, so if you haven't got a subscription, definitely get one. Great magazine. But we got an article in there for this ring. And this ring is sitting right here, encased in concrete, and I'll never take it out. But that someone tells me the settings between 1880 to 1910. And I found this in the lake. What an unlikely target. I was just scanning around. It was definitely an interesting signal, and this rock was just buried in the mud. Turns out it was concrete, and I brushed it away, and you couldn't even see this half of the band. You could only see the other half until I cracked it open. So by far, my favorite ring find of the year. And here's the year's clad. Some of it looks a little shiny. I rock tumbled all of this with fish tank gravel. I'll show you how to do that another time, I guess, because I had a couple people ask me about it. But I literally just tumble this with fish tank gravel for like an hour and a half. And then we're going to take this to the old Coinstar at the bank so that we don't get charged any fees, and then deposit this into the Play Money account. So what I'm going to show you right now are some pictures from members of the Facebook group. And I asked in the group for, show me some of your favorite finds of the year. Some of you posted there and some emailed in. So let's check it out right now. And if you enjoyed what you saw, be sure to click on one of the videos on the left right now, or click the subscribe button on the right to join us for more 4-season all-terrain treasure hunting. Have a great day.